Bro, I felt like a fucking passenger princess today. This guy tried to scam us and then let him fucking have it, bro.
Okay, so let me tell you what happened. So basically, last night, me and Mike, we wanted to go on a tour of Nhiajang, like just to see like little landmarks here and there, whatever. So the tour was like a good like 2 hour bike ride, like on a bicycle. So we sit somewhere and they like push us on a little bicycle. And in the end, we ended up paying him like what? How much?
Like $250,000, which is I think was totally worth. Plus we tipped him on top of that. I even mic'd him up and then he was like giving us like a full tour.
And he took us for a foot massage, waited like a good 2-something hours till we were done, and then bicycled us back. Like according to the locals, $250. Like they say we still got like gypped, but to us $250, whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So,
but when he drove us back, he didn't charge us the second time. He's like, "Oh, it's really close. Don't worry about it." Like no one would fucking do that. Like he could still get us like he could still could have asked us for like $50,000, but he didn't charge us at all. But I gave him that to him anyways.
So then this morning when we left the hotel, we called him and we said, okay, like we'll call you to take us out to eat, because we wanted to, like I thought like, okay, let's help these guys out, like, you know, the guys who have mopeds or like automobiles, like, you know, maybe they make a little more, but these guys are on bicycles, so we feel bad, we want to help them. So we called him to come. He said, okay, he'll be there in 10 minutes. So like we come downstairs and another guy is like waving at us like this. He says, oh, I'm Tin's friend. I'm Tin's friend from yesterday. So we're like, oh, okay. So then he's like, Tin told me to take you guys. So we're like, oh, okay. So we go on there and he's going off about how him and Tim are brothers and blah, 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 and going on and on and on.
It's probably a fucking lie.
Yeah. And then because 5 minutes into that bike ride, the actual guy, Tin, calls me and he's like, oh, I'm here. Where are you guys? So we said, oh, this guy, he said he's like your friend, your bro or something. He said that you told him to take us. And then the guy asked for my phone to speak to Tin or whatever, the scammer dude. And then they were speaking like a different dialect, so I couldn't really understand what the hell they were saying. But anyways, scammer dude takes us to this restaurant that we've been at before, because when we first landed in Nhiajang, a taxi driver took us there. The food was overly priced. It was terrible.
It was garbage. We didn't even finish it. We had like 2 bites of each dish and we threw it out.
And the reason why they take us there is when they take foreigners or tourists to that restaurant, the driver themselves gets a cut. So when this little bicyclist took us here, we saw this restaurant. We're like, no, we're not eating here. We ate here before. We don't like it. So he's like, okay, I'll take you to a different place. So he ends up taking us to another restaurant that's exactly the same name as that one, just at a different location. So we looked at the menu. We're like, this is the exact same restaurant. We're like, we don't want to eat here. So we made suggestions. We're like, oh, can we eat pho, or can we have banh mi? Like,
yeah, we want street food. Like, you know, like a street food vendor that has like 1 or 2 dishes, right? Not a restaurant.
Yeah. And he says, oh, they're closed at this time. They're only open really early for breakfast or later in the day for dinner, but they're closed at this time. So we're like, what you mean? Like, people don't have like lunch around here? So then we're like, okay, you know what? Just take us back to the hotel. So on the way back to the hotel, this guy goes, okay, so the ride for today is going to be like around 300,000. And I'm like, excuse me, 300,000? I'm like, you requested for 50,000 and you should be grateful if I pay you that 50,000, because you did not take us to a restaurant. You literally just took us round and around. You took us to a second restaurant that we specifically said we don't want to eat there. And I told him, I'm like, no. So then he's like, okay, let me call my friend. My friend will continue to take you guys. So I'm like, I will pay you 50,000 and that's it. And he's still making a big profit for 50,000. 50,000 goes a long way here, okay? His friend comes up and his friend's like, okay, we found a restaurant that was recommended from my uncle. And that restaurant was about 2.8 kilometers away. And the guy goes, okay, I'll be 300,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? If I book an automobile on Grab right now, just to go there and back, it's only 44,000. So I'm giving you a chance to make money. Like, I want to help you out, but you're asking for 300,000, which is extremely unreasonable. And he's standing there like, huh.
But let's just put in perspective what $300,000 can get you, right? So we were able to travel to a different city. The guy
40 minutes away.
Yeah, so he drove us there, waited for us for like 4 hours.
4 or 5 hours.
Until we were finished visiting the city, and then picked us up and drove us back home. That's what we could have got for $300,000. Like, these guys just knew that we weren't Vietnamese, like we weren't like Vietnamese natives there, and like they fucking just started scamming us. Like, we were in the car, and then the guy said his price, and I'm like, no, stop the fucking car, let's get out.
Yeah, he's like,
fuck that, we'll walk back.
Car. So I started telling him, I was like, And then I started telling him, we're only gonna pay you 50,000. He calls his buddy over. His buddy's trying to charge us 300,000 to take us to a restaurant that's 2.8 kilometers away. So I told him, I was like, you either take us to this restaurant for 50,000 because you're still making a profit. I am offering you 50,000, which is more than what an automobile on Grab would cost, which obviously, like, he's making a large profit. I'm not being calculative and cheap with this guy. So obviously he took the deal. He goes, okay, I'll take you to the restaurant there and back for 50,000. So we get to the restaurant and he's like, okay, honey, just pay me the 50,000. When you're done eating, call me. I'll come pick you up. I'm like, no, I'll pay you 25,000 right now. When we're done eating, we will call you to come pick us up, and then we'll pay you the remaining 25,000 once we get back to the restaurant. But then by the time we were done eating, it was raining anyway, so we didn't bother calling him. We don't want anything to do with him.
Yeah, but remember how, like, when we got there, the guy was like, "Oh, this place is not good at all. Don't eat here, right?"
Oh
Like,
yeah, because
like they keep telling us, like, don't eat at these places that we want to eat at, right? Because they're not making a commission there, right?
yeah, they want us to take us. And then I was talking to my uncle about what happened today, and my uncle said, so basically all these drivers, either they're taxi driver, automobile drivers, moped drivers, or even bicyclers, all these people, they make a commission when they bring you to specific restaurants. That restaurant will give them a portion of whatever your bill was, or a portion of like an introductory fee, whatever, because they brought a client there. That's why those restaurants are overly priced. Like, to us, we don't consider it expensive because it's still a lot cheaper than food we would get in Canada, but it's overpriced
But the
compared
food
to
wasn't good.
yeah, compared to everything else that's around here. It is overpriced, and the food is not good because for a rau mung sao toi, that's like a veggie dish, stir fried with garlic. At a local restaurant, it should only be about 40,000. That's regular
It's
price.
like 250,000 here.
Yeah, that's how much they were trying to charge us at that restaurant.
That's actually the same price as
No,
Canada.
no, they try to charge 120,000 for that. So from 40,000, the scammer restaurant wants 120,000. So, and the food is garbage there, literally garbage. And we asked for a seafood fried rice. I swear to you, I got 4 pieces of shrimp that were this big.
Those are pretty big shrimps.
No, they were this big.
That's like the same size as mine. Alright, guys, please